What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going through a bunch of mistakes you need to be avoiding when playing No Man's Sky in order to give yourself the best possible experience playing the game. Now these are in no particular order, but they are all very important to make the most of No Man's Sky, its features and its insane size. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you don't miss anything important. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get stuck in. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is expansion slots and how not expanding your inventory size is a big mistake. Now, I'm not just talking about your exosuit, but I'm also talking about your starship and your multi-tool as well. Expanding your inventory size on all of these is essential for not only resource management and making sure you have plenty of the essential resources and other resources used for crafting and building, but also for upgrading your exosuit, starships and multi-tools. These upgrades will allow you to improve your ability to do so many things like earning so much more money, more on that in just a minute, fighting off threats both in space and on planets, and flying further much quicker, and so on. With your exosuit you can expand your inventory size for it 2 times in every new system you visit, so you should be doing exactly that. However, if the system has been taken over by pirates or the space station has been abandoned, one expansion slot can just be located on the anomaly instead. So, the expansion slots on any normal space station can be found on the left hand side when you're flying in near the other NPC upgrade stations, and the other expansion slot in the system can be found at the back of the space anomaly, where you can purchase upgrades for all other aspects of No Man's Sky. The more you expand your exosuit's inventory capacity, the more money it costs, so hunting down drop pods is also a very wise idea. And of course, upgrades to a multi-tool will make you much more effective in battle against those pesky sentinels. They can also allow you to mine and handle more valuable resources, and finally, allow you to earn so much more money. I'll go into detail on that in just a second. Expanding your starship inventory is also essential for you to be able to purchase and install upgrades, making you much more capable in the space dogfights, and secondly, hyperdrive upgrades will allow you to jump further in one go so you can travel much further in the same amount of time. It also allow you to visit new systems like red and blue systems and green systems, so make sure you do that as well. So in a similar vein to not expanding your various inventories, you're also making a big mistake if you don't buy upgrades for your exosuit, starship and multi-tools. Why? Well, your exosuit upgrades allow you to be much better protected from a variety of threats, be that toxic environments, sentinels or storms. But not only that, the jetpack upgrades allow you to move around planet's surface much quicker. And who doesn't want to save time moving and flying around, finding resources and everything else, right? Starship upgrades are also essential for getting you better shields and better weapons against pirates and other space threats, so it's really a no-brainer to get them installed on your ship as well. And more importantly, as I mentioned, there are a bunch of hyperdrive upgrades you can install to get your longest jump range up from like 100 light years to over 1000 light years, so why wouldn't you want to do that? And another upgrade I would highly recommend getting on your starship is the launch thruster recharger, so you're not constantly having to faff around finding the resources to craft starship launch fuel. Much more efficient for your thrusters to recharge themselves, right? And of course, installing the cadmium drive, the emerald drive and the indium drive in your starship allows you to visit all of the systems to get new and valuable resources, so make sure you get those installed as well. Now, your multi-tool upgrades are some of the most important. Destroying sentinels can become significantly easier when you upgrade your weapons. I've recently done a video showing you how you can max out your damage on an alien multi-tools, so why not check that out? I'll leave a link in the description below for you. But the most important upgrades for your multi-tools, at least in my opinion, are the scanner upgrades. If you get a bunch of S-class scanner upgrades on your multi-tool, creatures scanning and flora scanning becomes such an incredibly easy way to make millions of units. Scans can go from being worth a couple of thousand units a pop to hundreds of thousands of units a pop, and that's before you even add in scanning plants and rocks, which are worth upwards of 50,000 units a pop now. So make sure you upgrade your scanner to its full potential with some S-class upgrades. So moving on, so not only is not upgrading your scanner a big mistake, but so is not uploading your discoveries once you have upgraded it. Uploading each of your discoveries will get you nanites, and you'll be able to find that you've scanned a few creatures, plants and rocks, or just a few handful of planets. You'll be raking in a couple hundred nanites, so it's definitely worth doing that. And not only that, if you manage to scan all of the creatures on the planet, you can get a nanite bonus as well, which could be worth around 3000 nanites depending on how many creatures there are. And the information in the Discoveries tab shows you exactly how many creatures there are on the planet, where they can be located, how common they are, and what time of day they can be found. So it's really worth spending the time scanning them, because you'll get a few million units and a few thousand nanites along the way. Simples. And similar to this, you should also be giving your discoveries to Iteration Helios on board the anomaly, because they'll be giving you even more nanites in return for information that you have gathered. So, in summary, upgrade your scanner for more money, upload your discoveries for more nanites, and give Iteration Helios information for your discoveries in return for even more nanites. Winning! Next up, I'm going to be talking about base building, and more specifically, if you ever flatten the ground or indeed want to build some or all of your base underground, it's essential you don't make these two mistakes. First of all, if you're flattening some ground quite a lot or sinking some ground as a bit of your base, it's always important that you build your rooms just off the floors. If you don't, you'll find that after some time, whether that be hours, days or even weeks, some part of your base will now be infested with the ground once again. And let's be honest, that's not a good look, is it? Building just off the ground not only doesn't have the ground come back into your base, but also allows you to hide wires and pipes, which can make your base look more aesthetically pleasing as well. And if you want to build some or indeed all of your base underground, it is absolutely essential that you find an existing cave on the planet of your choice to build in, rather than creating the cave yourself. And that is because, once again, after a certain amount of time has passed, be it hours, days or weeks, you'll likely find that your base has once again been completely taken over from the ground you initially excavated for your underground hideout. So basically, homemade caves are bad, natural caves you stumble across are good for building underground bases in. And whilst you're here folks, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. So let's talk about resources. Sure, there are loads of resources in No Man's Sky, some way more valuable than others, but I'm going to be talking about the low value yet essential resources you need to be stocked up on at all times. You need to be stocked up on these because they're going to keep you alive, keep you moving and allow you to mine resources. Of course, I'm talking about oxygen for life support, sodium for hazard protection, ferrite dust and dihydrogen to have launch fuel for your starships if you haven't yet got the launch thruster recharger, carbon for powering your mining tool and personal refiners, and finally tritium for your pulse engine to actually move through space more quickly. These are the basic building block resources you should have a stack of in your inventory at all times, and from there you can then of course branch out some more valuable resources. It's pretty simple, right? So moving on, obviously No Man's Sky is a completely huge game and moving around on massive planets takes a lot of time. So next up, one mistake you may be making is not learning how to do the melee boost so that you can move around on planets far quicker. It's super simple to do and it will get you to your destination at least twice as quick as sprinting when you're on foot. Pair the melee boost with S-Class jetpack upgrades and you'll be flying along in no time at all. So, how do you do the melee boost? All you need to do is tap the melee button and then immediately tap the jetpack button whilst moving forwards, and you'll be launched much quicker in the direction you're facing. In case you're not sure, the melee button is R1 and RB on PlayStation and Xbox respectively, and Q on PC, and the jetpack button is X and A on PlayStation and Xbox respectively, and the spacebar on PC. So, back out into space, when you're flying around you will come across an absolute ton of asteroids, there's no doubt about that, but if you're not shooting them, you certainly should be. You can get stacks and stacks of valuable resources from shooting asteroids, and these can include silver, gold, platinum and tritium, which is very important in itself as I've previously mentioned. And not only that, but you can get yourself an anomaly detector, and these things are super rare from asteroids, but since you can destroy asteroids very quickly and there are so many of them, you can actually find them reasonably frequently depending on how long you spend shooting asteroids. Each anomaly detector is good for one use and you can activate it from your inventory and you'll encounter something after engaging your pulse drive for just a few seconds. What you encounter depends completely on chance, it's fairly random and there's a wide assortment of possible strangeness that you can come across. Some of it is just like a giant space lava, however some of it is extremely profitable. You can attack many of these weird objects you encounter to mine them for precious resources worth perhaps hundreds of thousands or even millions of units if you decide to sell them on. And once you complete your first dream aerial, this also becomes a primary way to find new organic frigates, so it's definitely worth spending some time shooting a lot of asteroids. Now let's talk about freighters. They are probably the most expensive thing you can buy in No Man's Sky, along with frigates, which of course are part and parcel with freighters. What you may or may not know is that you can get your first freighter completely for free, and if you've not done that, you've made a mistake. And not only that, you shouldn't always get the first freighter you come across that's free as well, because you could end up getting a very basic C-Class one, whereas if you wait for the next opportunity or a couple after that, you could be getting a much better A or even S-Class freighter for free. So if you're unsure as how you can get a freighter for free, don't worry because I've got you covered. I've already created a video showing you how to do just that. So go ahead and check it out after this. I'll leave a link in the description below for you. And there you have it folks, there are some important mistakes you should be avoiding when you're playing No Man's Sky to give you the best possible experience in the game. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons whilst you're here. I'll be doing more tutorial videos like this one and perhaps a second part of this video along with future update videos, update rumours, amazing locations, glitches and more. So you don't want to miss out on those, right? And as always, thank you for watching and catch you on the flip side.